What's up, bros? Got your host, Forever Beaster, and today here with another video. And today, I'm here to talk about Knightfall Batman. Now, I've been waiting on this order for quite a bit. Usually, there's two different blue and gray Batmans from Mcfarlane's superpower line. There's the one more based off of the 80s Superpowers Kenner Batman. I went with, and that one's really expensive, but I went with Knightfall Batman because right now I'm trying to build up my Knightfall collection. I'm waiting for my Tim Drake to come in. So in place of that, we'll have a comparison. I have this Batman next to this. The artwork looks great. It's kind of a reuse of what we saw with the black and gray Batman, if you remember that review. But it's really just a reuse artwork of that Batman. Turn the back, and then it shows what figures have came out recently on this card backing. And it shows that you have the black and gray Batman come out. Then you had the regular Superman, and then you have an unmasked Bruce Wayne in the same line, and you got Jason Todd Robin, and then a Tim Drake based off of Dick Grayson Robin, which it's a terrible figure. I wouldn't even bother picking it up. But yeah, and some of these Batmans are good. The second wave came out with superpowered Batman, so I'm taking a hard guess that this Batman is a chase variant, and also this Batman, well, I think the unmasking is a chase variant, and also I think this Batman is supposed to be more of a Knightfall Batman, because at the time he was releasing his Knightfall figures, I'm pretty sure of it. So this is more of his Knightfall Batman. Anyways, all right, where was I? Oh, right, I was gonna crack this open. Let's go. Let's get into this Knightfall. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if they use the same cape material they use for the... I'm gonna shut this real quick. I don't know why that's open. Sorry. I don't know why they have it like... Man, hold on. I hate that it was out of place. But also, I don't know if they use the same cape material. I'm not trying to do the comparison early on. It's just I'm trying to figure out if they use the same... Because the cape material on this figure seems a little different from the Knightfall figure. I don't know. The cape material just seems a little different. And they also added the black on the inside of the cape, but they couldn't figure out Tim Drake's Robin cape over at Mcfarlane, so that's nice. I mean, Kenner could, but honestly, yes, it's a repaint. It's a repaint figure. I think they used the same. I think the head sculpt's slightly different. I know the paint on the chin is different. It looks like it almost has the same expression. I don't know if the added eyebrows at the cowl changes it. I think it's a reuse, but it is painted slightly different. The Ys look wider on this one than they do on that one. The sculpt looks great. I do believe this is Knightfall Batman. The yes, the coloring on the utility belt is more orange, more of an animated series color. Same with the bat symbol, while the bat symbol and the belt on the black one is yellow. So there's a difference in color. And maybe, I think it is a slight difference in sculpt. I can't really... I mean, I can see the chin is painted differently from the black and gray one. So, the sculpt is definitely a lot different. You have 7 points of articulation. You get to move the leg up with one joint, move it down, bend at the knee for both legs. You can move the wrist. I usually don't cover articulation, because usually for these figures, these are basic articulation, but still nice figures to have in your collection, which I'm going to show you that I'm trying to build a Knightfall collection, and I think it's kind of cool that we've been getting 5 to 4 inch figures of like Knightfall figures. I wish Mcfarlane made a Bane, and I'm hoping when he brings back superpowers that he makes a Bane. I really do like the cape on this figure. I like the added black color on the inside. It adds a comic book layer, because if you look at the I'm pretty sure it's only black on the inside because of the shadows. But even so, it's kind of cool they added the black shadow casting on the inside of the cape, giving it that realness and, I don't know, just some type of shade, like cell shaded, like it's a comic book. Gave it a comic book feel. It feels like comic book Batman. And I really like that for an action figure like this. I mean, to be honest with you, blue and gray Batman is not my favorite, but to have this in my collection, and I want to set up a Knightfall display sometime, and when I do that, and I'm going to get to my Knightfall collection because I've been building a 90s action figure style Knightfall collection, not like the Mcfarlane figures. I like this black and gray Batman. I've done a review on this figure. Oh my god, this figure is... Black and gray, this just reminds me of the animated series. It gives me an animated series vibe. I just wish they made a black... They just did a separate line, and instead of making this thing the main figure in the line, they made a chase along the Superpowers blue and gray Batman. They made a chase with the animated series colors, making the belt orange like that, and the symbol orange like that. And then just making it more of an animated series color, but you know, whatever. I have Combat Belt Batman. It's a great figure, but I think I'm gonna do another comparison. I think I'm gonna start doing comparison the villains, or maybe do more Batman comparisons before I get to the villains. But damn, this Knightfall Batman just looks great. I don't know. I'm really happy to have this in my collection already. I'm not even a big fan of blue and gray Batman, but this is 90s Batman right here. I can see Bane picking this dude up and snapping his back. It's so crazy how I put it, but yeah, no. We're gonna cut away from this one. Now, I have two versions of Knightfall Batman. So I have my Legends of Batman, which I ended up finding his cape that I was missing. And sometime I plan on doing a video on this figure, which honestly, this figure, Kenner has amazing sculpt work. Probably better than, like, this is truly a 90s Batman. The only thing is, this cape did not come with this figure. I mentioned this in many videos before. If you didn't see those videos, whatever. But Kenner has never put, like, they started using plastic cape, but it wasn't this type of plastic cape. It was kind of a loose cape that easily fell off, and I was like, okay, I'm tired of a cape falling off, so I was like, okay, this looks cool, and this kind of looks good on the Batman, the Legends of Batman figure. If you're wondering what Batman figure this is, Legends of Batman, Crusader Batman. But having these two side by side, they're both a representation of a 90s Batman from that era. This is more of a actual comic Batman. This is a Batman based on comic Batman, like what was happening at the time in the Legends of Batman comics and everything. And honestly, could not be happier to have these two next to each other. I'm going to have these two on a Knightfall shelf just because of how good they look. They both look good. This figure's just a little taller, and I'm going to get to my villains in a minute. I don't have too many figures I can do similarities with, but we're going to talk more about this figure. I like how it gives you a 90s feel, because the other Batman they had in the earlier wave, it was more of like a 70s, 80s Batman, because you could tell by the lighter gray, the darker blue. This represents more of a darker time Batman, a Batman that was going into the late 90s, early 90s, and it was more of just Batman become a darker shade of himself. I mean, even in the late 80s with the Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns Batman and all that, he was already becoming a darker Batman. So, yeah, no, and if you're wondering, this figure does not fit well in the bat changing chamber well with the cape on. You have to take the cape off if you want to put it in there, just letting you know. But yeah, no, this figure just, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. I don't really have much to say about this figure. It looks like a great Batman. Hold on, it's a little stiff. Just a little stiff, but you know, give him a perfect bend. Okay, let me, hold on. Well, I can't talk about one Mcfarlane Batman without talking about the other example. So, we need to talk about the Frank Miller Batman next to Knightfall Batman. And honestly, my one problem with the Frank Miller, this Dark Knight Returns Batman, is the bat symbol's correct, but the more I actually looked at the figure and I looked at the Flashpoint figure, I noticed that they should have used the Flashpoint Batman's head sculpt, just because it's a lot more closer to the Dark Knight Returns Batman. I didn't realize it until I saw that they used a flash. And here's the other thing. This is the funniest thing. This is the only short-eared Batman with a different head sculpt Instead, they just reused the Hush head sculpt for this figure. Everything is just reuse. This is a reuse, repaint. He did no effort in actually making this a Dark Knight Returns 5-inch figure. He did no effort of doing that. And that kind of just, well, not 5 they're not 5 inches. They're like around 4 inches. But still, McFarlane did no effort of changing the head sculpt. Because if he wanted, like, I know a lot of people were kind of like, they're like, whatever on this Returns figure, and this Knightfall figure looks great, even like with the other McFarlane Batman next to all three, because I'm still going to do more comparisons, but with all three of these, this one only reused the Batman Hush body, the first body mold that they use for Batman. These two just reused the same mold that they have, and the thing is, they have one more recolor that I want to pick up, just to pick up, and it's just an all black Troika 89 Batman, but that's the only other one they reused. They only reused that body type 4 times, maybe 5 times. I think it was only 4 times though, because it was this Batman, then it was the Superpowers Batman, and then it was also it was Superpowers Batman, then it was 89 Batman. The 89 Batman reused it again, and it had a gold variant on it, so, and the symbol was gold. It was more of a Kenner variant. And I think I'm wondering, did they reuse it for Tech Shield Batman? I think they reused it. I think they reused it for Tech Shield Batman. So they reused it for Tech Shield Batman. They reused it for these two. They reused it for Superpowers. They reused it for the 89 and Kenner Batman. They reused it like almost 6 or 5 times, if I'm correct or wrong, whatever. But they reused both body molds. And I'm pretty sure they reused this body mold a lot more, because I have Manga Batman. Manga Batman has the same body type as this Batman. And honestly, I wouldn't have mind the reuse, whatever. It has the pouch belt. It wouldn't bother me much, as if they changed the head sculpt. If they just changed the head sculpt to the Flashpoint head sculpt, I don't think there would even be a problem, because people would be like, oh, okay, that's a little more like Dark Knight Returns Batman. Anyways, I'm yapping about the Dark Knight Returns Batman. That's Knightfall Batman next to his other McFarlane variants. We're gonna move forward to another comparison. All right, so we talked about the other similar Knightfall Batman, which was Legends of the Batman, which I want to put up on a display shelf. How can we talk about a blue and gray Batman without one of the first I have in my collection, which is from the Kenner Dark Knight collection, Iron Winch Batman. There's another one with another name, but I just know as Iron Winch Batman. And this one has a bit more darker blue, so I don't know which comics it's taking from. I think, because this color is more on point with Knightfall Batman's colors and more of the late 80s to early 90s comic Batman colors. I think this Batman's colors, I think it's just more based on Adam West. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think this Batman is supposed to just be more based on Adam West. It has more of the Adam West blue and gray than it does the comic book blue and gray. And that's just how I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, well, now that I'm getting a better look at it, and I don't know if it's because of the lighting that I have on it, but this does look more like Adam West, and this is more of a comic book 90s Batman, Knightfall Batman, which after I get through, I think, one more Batman, we're going to move on to the villains I'm going to compare it to, which I only have a few villains, because I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember what villains are in Knightfall, but I wanted to keep it all Knightfall based, because this is Knightfall Batman. And I kind of hate that McFarlane doesn't have the characters on their packaging labeled as what they are, and it just names them off as Batman or Batman. Like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't label, I think it just labels the characters with their first part of their name, and it doesn't label them as anything else but that. This is Knightfall Batman. The other lighter variant of it which is in the earlier waves, Superpowers Batman, which is the expensive one that McFarlane remade off of Kenner's Superpowers Batman. And then here's Iron Winch Batman, which I'm pretty sure Iron Winch Batman was made for the Dark Knight collection and the Batman Returns line from Kenner, and I'm pretty sure it was based off of Adam West. So I had to talk about this blue and gray Batman. And honestly, if you don't want to get this one, which this one was pretty high in price to pick up, but I'm glad because now I can have an actual Knightfall collection. But if you don't want to pick this one up and you still want a blue and gray Batman that's a little cheaper, you could probably pick this up for a cheaper price. But this is more of to me, an Adam West Batman without the whole Adam West black head thing. Anyways, move forward to the next Batman. Now, this isn't Combat Bell Batman, but I've been wanting to put him in a video. I'll do my own video on him as like, what's the best animated series Batman. This is another Kenner variant, but this is a mail-away exclusive Batman I picked up off of eBay. It was not cheap, and it kind of was near around the same price as him, but a little couple dollars cheaper. But I also got this cape from Cape Master, which I had to go through a friend to order me it, and I got him an absolute Batman comic. Oh, I was flimsy with my hands there. But this is an animated series accurate cape. My Combat Bell Batman can't have that cape on it, even though it would look more show accurate. I can't put this cape on that Batman, mostly because of... It mostly just has to do with the fact that the cape can't be removed. The cape I have on my Combat Bell Batman, so... This is the best I'm going to get close to having an accurate animated series Batman. And the cape is accurate. The cape has nice stitching. Cape Master did well on this cape. He banned me off of eBay. We're not going to get into that, but kind of have a bit of beef with him. But other than that, this is more of an accurate animated series. This is what I'm going to say. This might be cheaper or better to get than the actual Combat Bell Batman, because most Combat Bell Batmans that you try to get for cheap, they end up being damaged. Unless you want to get the high-end one where it's for $100, be my guest. But if you're really trying to get a cheap figure and it's close to the animated series, get mail-away Batman, because you can barely notice the difference. And if you put a more accurate animated series cape on it and order it from Cape Master, you have a pretty accurate animated series Batman. And on camera, it kind of doesn't look that blue. And also off camera, it doesn't look that blue. It kind of just looks like Combat Bell Batman with a bit more of a bluish color, but it looks great and it's in great condition. And there's someone that sells like multiple of them, and it comes with some stupid 90s accessory that I don't give a fuck about, but I did want the figure. I swapped the cape with another Batman figure, and I was like, okay, I have my animated series cape. I will put this on it. This was cool. I got this figure. My friend got Absolute Batman. We're both happy. He's doing all right. Shout out to Apple G for that one. But yeah, no, I'm just putting an accurate Batman next to another accurate Batman. And I also wanted to do this. This one has the accurate blue on the inside. This one has more of the comic shadow black on the inside of the cape, because, you know, it's like a shadow casting over the inside of his cape. So honestly, both figures look great. They look great next to each other if you just want to have a comic 90s Batman next to a cartoon show 90s Batman, so you can have both 90s Batman next to each other. You can either do Combat Bell Batman. I wasn't going to go through the trouble to find Combat Bell Batman. He's in a bag somewhere. But, you know, whatever. Combat Bell Batman, you could do Combat Bell Batman next to Knightfall Batman, or you could do Knightfall Batman next to your mail-away Batman. And there is a lot of Kenner Batman variants of this one. Like, it's a reused body. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a reused body, but there's tons of them out there if you want to really use them. And sometime I want to get to a video talking about my top 10 Batman figures. It might include some of these Mcfarlane figures, some of these Kenner, Mattel, but whatever. I also want to do a video on unboxing the JLU Batman, but I wanted to do this first since I just got this today, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to open this up. I want to open this bad boy up. I want to film it for you guys, you know, go over it, because if you do want a Knightfall Batman in this scale, because I know everyone like talking about like every Knightfall Batman, like Mafex, Mcfarlane, all those other companies, and this is a Mcfarlane figure, but if you want a Knightfall Batman in this scale to go with your Kenner, your Toy Biz, and I guess Mcfarlane. I mean, those are the only three companies. Mattel too, because Mattel has some figures that you can put this Batman with. So if you want to scale in comparison with that works actually. So yeah, that's that. We're gonna move on from this. I don't know what I just did. I accidentally hit the wrong button. Sorry, we're gonna move on from this. I'm gonna pause now. Before we go from Batman to villains, I wanted to see this Alfred. This is the only Alfred in this scale, once again. So I always like to use this Alfred to scale with Batman. And it comes off, I don't know if it's because his feet are leaning forward or Alfred really is just taller than Bruce. It looks like Alfred is going to be taller than your Mcfarlane Batman. I don't know if he's always taller than him. I feel like Alfred and Bruce are always the same height. But anyways, scale-wise, you know what? Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to get an animated series Batman. We'll see. Okay, scale-wise, it looks like, and I don't know if it's because I have Bruce leaning a little bit down or whatever, but I think scale-wise, this, let me just move Mcfarlane Batman. I know the video's on him, but I'm curious, because I've done this before. Alfred fell over. I'm curious, and I've done this before, and I'm just wondering, scale-wise, is Alfred and Bruce supposed to be the same height? Or is Alfred supposed to be taller than Bruce? And that's terrible scaling. I don't know what the fuck I was just trying to do. I think the animated figures just scale well together. I think Bruce is supposed to be the same height as Alfred. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that before. I'm going to move animated Batman just in the back. Put Knightfall Batman back in his position. I think Alfred and Bruce are supposed to be the same height, but there you go. I guess. But I always like to scale this Alfred with every Batman I get because Batman can't be without Alfred. I feel like every Batman has an Alfred. There's a few times Alfred died, whatever, but every Batman has an Alfred. Hell, even Absolute Batman has an Alfred. So yes, Batman has an Alfred. And you know what, now I think about it, I should have grabbed my Absolute Batman Kenner just to put Knightfall Batman next to Absolute Batman. So, whatever, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, no, you have Alfred next to Knightfall Batman, and they look great next to each other, so if this Alfred works for you, I mean, this is the only Alfred you're going to have in this scale. Ooh, my hand is not set right on the camera, but, yeah, no, this is the only Alfred you're going to get, so, it's whatever, it's no big deal, but we're going to move on to the villain. Well, before we get to the villains, I got one more. Now, this Robin was in my last video, and I did get my other animated Tim Drake Robin, which, he's the same figure as this. I'm waiting on my Tim Drake Batman Returns figure to do a video about the 3 Robins. But also, this Robin is Dick Grayson, by the way, so you have to keep that in mind. But the Tim Drake Robin that I'm talking about is basically the same figure, just with a different head sculpt and different coloring. So to scale-wise it, this would work. And this would basically, and the Tim Drake Robin would be my Knightfall Robin, because Tim Drake was in Knightfall as Robin. There is a Total Justice Robin, but I think Total Justice Robin would be taller than this Batman. But he's the same height as Legends of Batman. So if you wanted to use Legends of Batman and Total Justice Robin, that works for you. For me, it doesn't, because I want more in this scale, not 5-inch like Legends of Batman. But yeah, no, you have your Knightfall Robin. I wouldn't use, the thing is, animated series Robin, I think he's more based off of Tim Drake's look, but it's Dick Grayson. So I wouldn't use this Robin, because otherwise I'm just gonna look at him like, okay, that's Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson wasn't Robin in Knightfall. So I need to get my Tim Drake Robin from the Batman Returns line, which I already have it on. I have it coming in, but I just don't know when. Anyways, we're gonna move forward. That's me yapping about that. Now, you can't talk about Robin without talking about Nightwing, Dick Grayson. So, talked about the Robin, which is Tim Drake during Knightfall. Now we're talking about Nightwing, and this is actually exactly what he wore during Knightfall. Now, Mcfarlane did make a Knightfall Nightwing, and it went with the 89 Batman Troika, whatever you want to call it. The 89 Mcfarlane Batman of this, he put it in the same wave, but it looked like shit to me. Kenner did it better. This is an actual, you can actually move this off of him if you wanted to. You can actually take it off of him. And there's another variant of this. There's a different color version of this, but I have the original one that came out, and it's a part of, and if you want to know what this Nightwing is from, it's from Legends of Batman, the same line as the Legends of Batman Crusader Batman, but it's from the same line. And this figure is 5 inches. Having him crouching like that, he's less taller than Bruce. And I always figured Dick is a little shorter than Bruce, but oh, sorry about that. I did not mean to flip the camera like that. God damn. But yeah, did not mean to say the Lord's name in vain. But yeah, there you go. At this scale wise, they look great. I think I don't know. I guess if you really are bothered with the scale, I would just, get if you're really bothered with the scale, just get Mcfarlane's Knightfall Nightwing. But this is what Nightwing wore during Knightfall. You can't use the other Nightwing where he's wearing the blue and black, because that's not what he wore during this storyline. Anyways, we're going to move forward from Batman's allies to his villains. And you can't talk about Knightfall without talking about Bane. I will break you, Batman. I will break you. I will snap your spirit. Sorry, Bane is one of my favorite Batman villains, other than someone like Professor Pig. And honestly, Bane should always tower over Batman just a little bit. Some people like their Bane really monstery. Some people like their Bane like this. This is more of a Knightfall Bane. It's from the Batman and Robin line, which, is the craziest thing I'm going to say. The Batman and Robin movie may have just gave us one of the greatest Bane action figures from Kenner. Kenner said, Batman and Robin was such a terrible movie. The design for Bane was really shitty. It was so bad that they said, let's just make a comic Bane. And I am missing the Venom tube that he would have right here that would plug right in and it would go to his head. I am missing that. But other than that, this would be your Knightfall Bane. I'm going to adjust the camera. This time I'm not going to mess up flipping it. But yeah, no. You want your Bane to tower Batman. And honestly, Kenner's Batman and Robin Bane goes great in scale-wise with Mcfarlane's Batman, in my opinion. Goes all types of great with Mcfarlane's Batman, even the animated series Batman. But to have Knightfall Batman next to this Bane is fucking cool. And later on, near the end of it, I'll test if he can break the bat, just like I tried to do with the black and gray Batman. But before we do that, I need to pull out another Bane for this one. Now, this Bane is more of a monstery Bane from the Legends of the Dark Knight line, which is different from the Legends of the Batman line. And honestly, I thought about doing a video on the Legend of the Dark Knight line, just talking about it a little bit and putting my absolute Batman next to these, because Legend of the Dark Knight is basically supposed to be where all the villains are all monstery and everything like they are in the Absolute comics. And if you want your Bane to tower over Batman, this figure's a 7-inch figure, so he goes great with your Mcfarlane. Probably. I would say he probably goes great with your Mcfarlane and your Mattel. But he does tower over the McFarlane Superpowers line. He towers over the Kenner Batman line. Yeah, no, he towers over any figure from Kenner that was made pre-Legends of the Dark Knight. They did make a different Batman in the line that's more based on Kelly Jones' artwork. But yeah, Knightfall Batman next to Legends of the Dark Knight Bane. If you want this Bane, this was made by Kenner. If you want this Bane and you want to have a beast hulking Bane, there you go. Legend of the Dark Knight Bane. But say you don't want Knightfall Bane, or you don't want Legends of the Dark Knight Bane, then you got animated series Bane. I'm like, if I'm bringing out animated series Batman, I will bring out animated series Bane, because I think Kenner only made 3 Banes from each toy line. I am pretty sure they only made 3 Banes. And this was their first crack at Bane, because he just came into the show as he was just introduced into the comics. And this figure is more hulking and a lot bigger than your Kenner Batman and Robin Bane. And later on, I can test later on if he cracks the bat's back. But yeah, no, and just to show you scale wise. Yeah, no, there you go. Yeah, scale wise. Yeah, he's way taller than Batman. I have to lower the camera by a lot. But yeah, no, Bane is way taller than Knightfall Batman. Just by looking at the figure itself, you can see he is hulking beast right there. You can see the veins, everything. I love that detail, how you can see the veins and the venom being pumped into his body, and how big of a figure he is, because he is a like, and he's not like the Clayface figure. He's not empty plastic. He is a big figure. But yeah, no, you have Bane, Knightfall Batman, which if you want to use this Bane in your collection next to your Mcfarlane, that looks great. Now, I was going to go straight to Joker. The Sharpie's coming out. I really should just paint this. Anyways, this is my custom Victor Zsasz, and never use permanent Sharpie. This just taught me, so you never use permanent Sharpie, because this is the shit you get. It's rubbing off clearly. It's looking like shit. But this is my custom Victor Zsasz. He doesn't really... Batman should be taller than Victor Zsasz, actually, scale-wise, but also this was a figure made by Toy Biz, and it's a Hercules figure, and he can't hold anything. What really pissed me off is he can't really actually hold any weapons. He can't hold, like, I tried to get him to hold a knife, I tried to get him to hold accessory, he can't hold anything. But, and I was originally going to do a video on this custom, but because it does look good, I have his, and the thing is, he does not have anything on the back, because Victor Zsasz never carved anything on his back, but he has the carvings there, and you can tell it's rubbing off, so that means it's shit. But there's my Victor Zsasz custom. He has the blonde hair like he did in the Knightfall comic, except his hair was a lot shorter, but kind of looks like Victor Zsasz, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. It was only $4. So there you are, Knightfall Batman next to Victor Zsasz, which Victor Zsasz made his first appearance in the Knightfall comic, so if nobody knew that, there you go. A little bit of history fact with Batman, but yeah, you have Knightfall Batman next to a custom Toy Biz Victor Zsasz. And I mostly just based it off of the idea of like what Mcfarlane was doing, because he made a Victor Zsasz. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I was like, let me make a custom. Need to paint the chest. Need to paint it black. But yeah. We're going to move forward to the last villain. Now, I could have put this Batman next to the Jack Nicholson Joker or whatever, but I was like, I'll just put him next to Trenchcoat Mark Hamill Joker. And I do have Mark Hamill's Joker in a normal outfit, but I was like, Trenchcoat Killing Joke Joker next to Knightfall Batman looks pretty interesting. Looks like these two guys would not get along in a bar. I mean, obviously. But they, like, aesthetic-wise, they look great next to each other, actually. Yeah, no, actually, you know what? I can see this Joker being a part of this universe. I don't know what the Joker actually looked like in the Knightfall comics. I tried to look up to see who was in the Knightfall. I know Killer Croc was, but I'm pretty sure Killer Croc was green in the Knightfall comics. If I'm wrong, I could have used my animated series Killer Croc and scaled him, but, you know, I'm pretty sure Kenner only made like 3 Killer Crocs, and one of them is a variant of the animated series, which I want to get because I like green skin Killer Croc. But there you go. You have Knightfall Batman next to it. I love this figure. This figure feels nice. He's boom, like, oh, boom. I can't fucking do that right. Hold on. Boom, there you go. Batman punch Joker. Oh wow, I knocked him right out. But yeah, there you go. Knightfall Batman. Honestly, I'm gonna say Knightfall Batman is worth a pickup if you really want to make a Knightfall collection with 90s mixed with modern figures. Sorry for the yapping. I will continue to yap on these videos. I try to keep these videos short, but I feel like that's impossible because I just have a lot to yap about. But yeah, no, Knightfall, Mcfarlane, Batman, I'm going to say it's worth a pickup. If you can spend the money, it's around $30, like I think it's around $37. There's also a Dark Knight collection Mcfarlane boxed up, like with a Batman and a Batwing and a Whirly Bat on there on Walmart. So if you really feel like you want to pick this up, you can pick this up. I didn't really have a lot of blue and gray Batmans. I'm like, this would be cool to have. I'm not much of a blue and gray Batman fan, but to have a Knightfall Batman in my collection, and I don't really care for the modern Mcfarlane figures, but I like superpowers. And I like the Kenner figures and more of the retro figures. This looks nice. I'm a big fan of this utility belt, and I'm like, okay, I already have the black and gray one. I want to get the all black one, but I want to pick up Knightfall Batman before I even get to that one. And it just It looks great. It just looks amazing. Now we're going to try to break the bat. Try not to accidentally press anything. So if you want to, so this is, you can get him into this pose actually. Hold on. If you just want to pose him up as if he's going to break him, actually this looks pretty good. I feel like this Bane is the only Bane from the 90s you'll probably be able to get him breaking the bat's back. Like to get Knightfall, Mcfarlane Superpowers Batman to break his back. I feel like this is the only way. If you want to activate the gimmick, we can activate the gimmick. Oh my god, it's kind of a pain to reach back there. Oh, there you go. Oh, but he broke the bat. He broke the bat.
Thank you, Batman. I have broken your spirit, Mr. Wayne.
Dang. Anyways. Alright, to get this one set up, you can break his back, I guess. I don't know. It looks awkward. I feel like the only Bane you're gonna get like raising him up if you want a raising up pose with this Batman. I mean, this Bane works too. I'm thinking I'm gonna have trouble with the Legends of the Dark Knight Batman. I'm gonna try to get this Bane to work. Try not to have this Batman fall off because it's gonna be a pain to bring him down. All right. Let's see if we can break the bat. Oh, there. Oh, actually. Oh my god, I actually got it to work. That's crazy. You can actually. Okay, so you can actually attempt breaking the bat's back with Bane in one full motion. You just gotta pose him upright. I actually feel like I just broke Batman's back. I don't think a Batman fan has ever said that. But, you know, that was actually, I don't know why. I just nerded out a little bit there. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I just broke Batman's back. If you get him raised up in the right position, you're going to be able to break his back, even though his cape's covering his face awkwardly. But yeah, no, you can break Batman's back. It is possible, this figure. I didn't think it was going to be. I'm like, the only Batman figure I think it's not going to be possible with is the Legend of the Dark Knight Batman, Bane, because I just think this Batman's too small for that Bane, so we're just going to test it. But I think you can only break the back with two Banes. This one in the animated series. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna try Legends of the Dark Knight. All right, we're going Bane the Bane, and this is the last Bane, and you can get him sort of lifted up, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't. Yeah, no, that's not gonna do shit. You can't break his back. I think this Bane is just too big. This is too big of a muscled up Bane, in my opinion. But you know, it was a nice attempt. If you wanna get Batman posed up with Bane like from Knightfall, and you have this Knightfall Batman, and you want Bane to break his back, in my opinion, you're gonna have better luck with this Bane, and I'm trying to reach over and grab him. You're gonna have better luck with these Banes breaking Batman's back than you are with the other Bane. I feel like and it's crazy that Mcfarlane made this Knightfall Batman and made a Knightfall Unmasked Batman, because I think that is a nod to the Knightfall. But he didn't make Bane. He did not make Bane in this scale, and I'm not gonna lie, Mcfarlane's next Superpowers line needs to have a first appearance Batman and Bane. I want a first appearance Batman and Bane. I want a Golden Age first appearance 1940 Batman and Bane. That's what I want. That's all I'm asking for. Because honestly, it would be the only other first appearance Batman we have is from Kenner, and I would like to have a first appearance Batman. That's me talking about that. This was me talking about Knightfall. And yeah, I'm just gonna finish off here. I don't even think I'm gonna. Yep. First. Oh, okay. The camera does not like me today. Hold on. Usually I have Alfred or Robin standing next to Batman at the end of the video, but I think near the end of the video, I'm just gonna do Knightfall Batman and Bane, because Bane's introduction was the Knightfall comics, and this is Knightfall Batman. Anyways, subscribe if you're new to the channel, like, comment below, leave post notifications on because you'll never know when I upload, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys had a great, amazing day. Hope you had a great piece of coffee. Hope you had a great dinner, evening, and I will talk to you guys next time.